Today we're going to talk about new literacies. We're going to look at the best approach to teaching new literacies and explore what this might look like in your classroom. New literacies are associated with digital technologies. They are multiple, they are complex, and they are constantly evolving. As teachers, it is so important for us to provide our students with the tools required to navigate the complexities of new literacies and their technology, that we help students to learn to use language appropriately, to identify and effectively demonstrate what behaviours are acceptable, and how to effectively engage with it. It's important for us to acknowledge that due to the changing nature of technology and its new literacies, we must ensure our students are equipped with the necessary skills and understandings required to navigate not only the technology of today, but also the technology of tomorrow. Digital texts and technologies are always evolving, and if we are open to this idea, we as educators will allow our students to use new technology to assist with their learning. The importance of new literacies has been highlighted by the current climate, with physical distancing seeing us moving to online learning and communication. We are seeing a greater reliance on technology as we utilise the wonders of the digital realms to learn, to teach, and to interact and engage with others. It has meant that whilst we've been physically distanced during this time, we have been able to remain socially connected thanks to technology. Since digital texts are such a large part of our schools, our workplaces, and our everyday lives, we should take the opportunity to use them in a way that develops skills in our students and allows them to become critical consumers, producers, distributors, and inventors. Use of digital literacies in the classroom has a multitude of benefits for our students as it prepares them for the 21st century workplace and sees them developing the skills, strategies and social practices that are required to both appropriately and effectively use and create digital information. So what do students need to engage with new literacies? They require a wide range of skills, knowledge and understandings to engage in digital reading, writing and communication. They also need to be aware of different contexts and purposes that shape texts. We need to explicitly teach research and comprehension skills, and provide our students with authentic and meaningful interactions with digital literacies to equip them with the skills to navigate both present and future technology and its new literacies. Okay, so we understand that new literacies are important, but what's the best way to go about teaching them? Well, research suggests that situated learning is the most effective way to teach new literacies. Let's look at situated learning in a little bit more detail. Situated learning and authentic experiences with digital literacies allow students to gain a greater depth of understanding and for students to construct their own knowledge through interactions with simulated or real social contexts. A situated learning approach in the classroom sees students exploring realistic situations that connect to the real-world application of technologies through authentic experiences or tasks, where there is an authentic audience, an authentic purpose, and an authentic text. Basically, it's all about making the learning as authentic as possible and connecting to the real world for students. It's the act of learning through doing. If you're wanting to teach your students about web pages, get your students building one. Teaching about email communication, have them send an email. Let's take a look at what situated learning of new literacies might look like in a classroom.
The teachers at Happy Valley Primary School in Sunshine Lollipops have supported their students in the development of a fun multimodal digital text, which is called the Book Club Podcast. This is a school-wide initiative that sees all year levels from Foundation to Year 6 actively involved in creating a series of book reviews for the school podcast. Whilst all year levels will be supported in their learning, it should be noted that students in the early years of primary will need greater scaffolding with the task. To start, the students are introduced to a variety of different podcasts, which they then use for analysis and identify what makes an effective one. They look at content, language choices, and style of podcast, for example, conversational or interview. They look at what makes a podcast engaging and captures audience's attention. The students at Happy Valley then collaborate as they read, research and build a script for the podcast about their chosen book. They consider the content to include and exclude, remembering some things are not appropriate to share online. After rehearsing, they then use audio software technology to express their views and opinions about books they have read in a review, exploring elements such as plot, theme, setting, and characters, with the overall intention being to generate others' interest in reading the books as a result of listening to this podcast. Students might choose to conduct the podcast in an interview fashion or as a discussion. It is important here to allow them to be creative and establish their own style. The recorded podcast is then shared with other students and teachers at Happy Valley Primary and with parents, caregivers and community members. It is hoped from this activity that students will be able to identify an authentic audience, which could be classmates, school community or carers, for example. They should also be able to find an authentic purpose, which produces an engaging podcast that encourages their peers and the greater school community to read or engage with books as they share their book reviews. An authentic audience and an authentic purpose will ultimately create an authentic text, which develops an understanding of appropriate audio production techniques for students and allows them to work collaboratively with peers to produce the podcast.
So we've seen what new literacies might look like in the classroom, but is it worth the effort? Can I teach and support my students in developing skills in new literacies by just giving them access to iPads instead? They seem to know their way around technology already. What is the benefit of situated learning? Research suggests that incorporating digital text in the classroom in meaningful and authentic ways improves learning outcomes, builds student confidence, their social practices, skills, strategies, and knowledge associated with new literacies. Furthermore, teaching students to understand, utilise, and create digital text is an important and ever-growing part of learning in the modern-day classroom. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the video and it's time for a quick summary. The best pedagogical practice for teaching new literacies is situated learning. As teachers, we should include authentic learning tasks that use digital technologies to expand the minds of our students and prepare them for the 21st century workplace and the technology of tomorrow. When using various digital texts and technologies in your classroom to teach new literacies, you might want to ask yourself, will our students see themselves as merely users of these new technologies? Or will they see themselves as the inventors of the technologies that continue to transform and shape our future?